So good morning, everyone. I'm glad to see you all. My dog is doing her own version of child's pose on the mat, so we're ready to go. Today, I'm going to talk about Vishuddha, which is the throat chakra, and it has to do with a mythological story in Hindu mythology, wherein the gods were fighting and a poisonous toxin was released into the water. And one of the gods swallowed the poison to save others. And his wife grabbed his throat in order to save him. And so he's known as the blue-necked god. But in that story, the moral of that story, we're told, is that the throat has the power to heal or to harm, and that we need to treat it with care and respect. So our affirmations today are going to be words like healing and empowering, thinking about your voice as having the potential for transformation, and also feeling that you have the right and the authority to speak, the agency to speak. So I'm not only able to speak, but I'm able to communicate effectively. So in this chakra, I was really moved by a film I saw last night called The Empire of Light. It's a Sam Mendes film, and it's really an ode to the cinema in lots of ways, with Olivia Colman playing a woman who either is suffering schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. I'm not sure which, but anyway, it's a very, very powerful film, and it's set in Margaret Thatcher's England. So part of it too is about skinheads and racism, etc. And while I was watching it, I was just so moved by the character played by Olivia Colman, who is loosely based, I think, on Sam Mendes' mother. And she is always quoting poetry. And one of the poems she quotes near the end just felt right for this morning. It's called The Trees. It's by Philip Larkin. The trees are coming into leaf like something almost being said. The recent buds relax and spread. Their greenness is a kind of grief. Is it that they are born again and we grow old? No, they die too. Their yearly trick of looking new is written down in rings of grain. Yet still the unresting castles thresh in full-grown thickness every May. Last year is dead, they seem to say, begin afresh, afresh, afresh. And that notion of renewal is something that I've been thinking about in terms of voice, how sometimes we lose our voice over time and then it can return. And sometimes events are so powerful that they overcome our voice. And yet we do have that sense and that ability to return and to speak anew. So we're going to start with this fabulous pose. I'm going to show you something from my yoga anatomy book, and it's the Sima is lion, Simhasana is the lion's pose. So we're working on the throat, and I'll just read you. It's the lengthening and activation of your tongue, which lifts your hyoid bone, and this can affect your hyoid muscles, your sternum, your rectus abdominis, your pubic bone, your pelvic floor, and your digestive system. So once you are working in the throat area, you can feel it like through your whole body. So we're just going to, I'll just demonstrate it here. I'm just sitting on my feet. You can sit in a cross-legged position. And I'm just going to let my eyes pop out of my head and my tongue stick out of my mouth with a great deal of sound. So it's inhale and then exhale. it's a very satisfying pose. So let's try it a couple of times. Inhale, and we feel that inhalation all through our chest, through our back body. And then we're going to exhale with a, okay, and one more time. And we may come back to this breath later on. Now, today we're going to work particularly on the on some postures that I need in my body. And since I feel I'm not an atypical woman of a certain age, I think you may need it too. And so we're going to work on the hips, and in particular, we're going to work on the sacrum and exercises that will help us stretch out our lower back and fix what ails us. And we're also going to work on our shoulders. So let's just start here. We'll just do some circles, just some side stretches. In this case, I'm doing it to my left. And then we're just going to drop down and come up the other side. And we're going to drop down and come up the other side. And now we're going to reverse that. We're going to go to the other direction and drop down and come up to the other side. And we are exhaling when we're constricted here, when we're coming down. And we're inhaling when we're coming up. Exhaling and inhaling. Okay, we're going to just use our elbows to turn our shoulders in one direction, going backwards. And then we're going to turn our elbows going in the other direction. And we're going to do just a very gentle caress of our ear here. And we're going to feel our shoulder drop down. And we're just going to lay our hand here. We're not putting in really much pressure on here at all. We're just allowing our neck to fall to the side. And sometimes in yoga, we manage to ignore our neck. and it's hard to feel it stretching out. Okay, and now we're going to do the other side. And up we come. We're going to drop our neck to the front. We're going to feel our throat chakra being locked here. And then we're going to drop our head to the back. We're going to lift our chin up. And we're going to drop our head to the front. And then to the back. And then to the right ear and the left ear. And if you want, you can circle it around if your neck doesn't give you any trouble. Mine seems to be doing quite well. And now I think we're ready to go. We'll stretch our arms out in front. We'll clasp them. This will stretch our fingers out nicely. And we can change the clasp on it and stretch our fingers out. Our shoulders are down the back. We are rooting our feet into the floor in Tadasana, and we're feeling our tailbone just sort of tilted down a little bit to the floor. It's not really a deep pelvic tilt, but we're not arching our back too profoundly. Okay, good. Now we're going to come down on our back for a moment and do some exercises, some asana poses and exercises that will help our sacrum and the muscles that attach at the bottom of our hip. So we're going to just cross our right leg over our left. If that's too much, you can just hold on to your shins. This gives you a little bit of a deeper stretch. So, and then that's just a figure 4. And we're going to pull our our leg in this way. And all the time I'm thinking about renewal because this part of my body gives me a lot of anguish sometimes. So I'm always working towards healing my body, healing my aging body. Okay, and now we're going to put the other leg over top of the thigh, and we can hold on to our inner thigh of our leg that's bent here, or we can hold on to the shin and we can pull it in. We'll keep our foot at 90 degrees so that we have our heel extended, but we can extend both of our heels. This is actually quite an active pose, and we're working with these muscles that are really useful to stretch out before we do downward dog or sun salutations or whatever. Okay, now we can let's just put our legs up in the air and shake our legs out a little bit. Give our back a little massage into the floor, a little vibrating massage. This is apparently like the honeybee Z sound, good for the joints. Okay, and now we can roll over, and I want us to just go into a downward dog here. And we can start actually just from child's pose. We can just stretch our arms out in front of us and move back onto our heels. Now, if this is too much for you, you can put a towel underneath here to support your legs if it's painful. You can widen your legs out and feel your arms extending, your palms flat on the ground. You feel your palm is actually cupped. It's not, it isn't flat. I misspoke. The center of your hand is actually cupped, and you feel a tremendous amount of suction almost of your fingers on the ground. And you can feel, on the one hand, you're stretching your hands out and stretching your arms out of your socket a little bit. And then you're pulling slowly your arms back into the socket. You're feeling the shoulder blades go down the back. And you can just snuggle in here and feel the comfort of the hug of your body that you're making in this child's pose. Now we're going to move into, from here, we're moving into a downward dog, and that just means we're going to sit up on our knees, and we're going to get onto our toes. We can stand high on our toes, we can spread our toes, and lower our heels. But the important thing to do first, before you even lower your heels, is to extend your sit bones and to feel the back of your thighs, the front of your thighs rather, moving back to straighten your knees if it's possible. Now, if it's not possible, that's not a problem. And then lower the feet down. Here we go. And we're just going to rest here. We're going to feel a thread between our hip bones and our lower ribs, so that our breathing, and here we're breathing beautifully because our chest is our back body is very open. And we're just going to inhale, and then we're exhaling. Inhale, exhaling. Now we're going to come through here into a plank. We're doing kind of slow yoga today. And then we're going to just drop our hips down, but not too much, into an upward dog if we can. If we can't, we should just stay in a plank, go back into child's pose, or stay in your downward dog. But we're just going to stand here, and we're going to feel the energy in our legs, moving out our feet. And we can feel the energy in our hands as we push down. Our hands are below our shoulders. And then we're going to come back up into downward dog. And we're going to do some fancy footwork here. We're going to come up on our toes, bend our knees,
And we're going to feel our sit bones really pointed. They're like little daggers coming out of our derrieres. And then we're going to extend our legs up and straighten them, and then lower our heels. So that should give us some extra stretch here. Then we're going to lift the right leg up. The foot, the heel is extended here. And we're going to drop our knee towards our buttock and open out that thigh. And you can feel the front of the thigh opening. It shouldn't be painful. There's a lovely balance in yoga between sweetness and struggle. And this is that moment when there's sweetness and struggle, but it shouldn't be painful. Then we're going to lift our leg up, and we're going to bring our knee in to the opposite elbow. Then we're going to extend it back and bring our knee in to the elbow on the same side, and then extend our leg up. We're pointing our toe. I'm pointing my toe at this point, and bring our knee in and extend it up. Bring our knee in and extend it up. There we go. And this time we're going to bring our knee in, and we're going to land it however we can. So this is a very good pose for what ails me, and it's helpful it's a pigeon pose, and theoretically this leg should be parallel to the front of the mat. But if it comes down, if it's more comfortable, that's no problem. And then you want to put your foot flat on the ground here. Your toes, your baby toe is flat on the ground. And you're really feeling your back, the curve of your back, in a lovely back bend here. Now the full posture here is the king pigeon, is to bend this leg and to reach around and hold that foot. And that really stretches out the front of your thigh, of the leg that's bent behind you, in this case, my left leg. It's a beautiful stretch in the front of your thigh. I'm going to lay that foot down, and we're going to, you can use blocks here if you like to hold yourself up. You can, however you want to do that. You can put a blanket under your hip that's raised if you want some support, or you can just go forward, however you can manage it. And we're just going to rest here. This is a little bit of a yin yoga class with some longer poses. And I am just feeling the opening in the back of my right thigh and buttock. And this is supposed to help. There's a muscle that runs from the spine to the hip bone. And some of us, our legs are a little bit different in terms of their structure. In my case, I broke both my ankles and one of them healed badly. So I have differently, my hips work differently, and things get overstretched and messed up. So this is a really good pose that I really should do every day, actually. All right, and we're going to come up again, and we are going to put our leg back, and we're going to go back into our downward dog here. And I'm thinking about renewal. I'm thinking about the rings of trees. I'm thinking, just before the winter solstice, about spring coming again, spring again. Okay, now I think we'll come down for a moment and we can sit back on our heels. And I think we're just going to just embrace ourselves for a minute here. Just give ourselves a hug, just to stretch out, to give our shoulders a little bit of a break here.
There we go. And we can also take our shoulders and put them in that lovely kind of eagle arms here. And this is a lovely stretch here for our arms. So in this case, I'm putting my right arm over top of my left, and then crooking the elbows and putting my palms together, or as close as I can manage. And this really is a very good stretch for your shoulders and very helpful. Okay, and we're going to just open our arms out wide, stretch our fingers out, and we're going to come with our left arm over top of our right and eagle arms here. Okay, now I'm going to just roll my shoulders around a bit, my arms around a bit, give myself another beautiful embrace. You can actually massage your shoulders if you want to. You can massage your neck. It's a holiday today. You can do whatever you like. So here we go. We're just giving ourselves a lovely, lovely caress here. And we can change our arms. Okay, now we're ready to go and do the other side. All right, so we're back into downward dog here. And we're up on our tippy toes here. And we're going to extend our sit bones back towards the back wall. We're going to feel that energy in our arms. And we're going to imagine our front thighs stretching back to open out our knees and straighten our legs. Okay, so we're just going to come forward into a downward dog. Or if you can't do this, you can go all the way down and go into a cobra. This I quite like because I really push down into my hands. And I don't feel that much. I also feel a lot of weight on my feet. And just resting here, I can feel my body kind of just finding its own power, I think. And then we're going to go back into your downward dog. All the time your navel is going towards your backbone. You're feeling that core strength really helping you to lengthen. And we're going to come back into our upward dog here with the energy. We're going to feel our belly going back into our spine. We're going to feel the shoulder blades going down our back, and our head should be relaxed. And then we're going to go back into the downward dog, and we're going to lift up the other leg. In this case, it's my left leg. And I'm going to bend that leg over towards the buttock and really feel that beautiful extension in my front left thigh. Now, there should be an evenness here. It's unclear to me whether I'm even, but there should be equal weight on both sides of your hand, your arms. And you should be able to feel that lovely stretch in the front of your thigh. Then we're going to stretch that leg out and come into the opposite arm, elbow, in exhaling, and then inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and then to the same elbow, back, stretch back, and then to the opposite elbow. Okay, we've got our leg back here. Now we're going to bring it into the pigeon and just bend your knee. And in this case, what you do is you slide the leg that's in the back, you slide your knee back, your foot back, so that you are extending back further and not going straight down.
And this leg should be parallel to the front, or it can be at a more convenient angle, whatever you like. You can use blocks here to hold yourself up. You want to feel all of your toes, the front of all of your toes on the ground, including your baby toe. And you're just going to rest here and feel this beautiful back bend. If you like, you can bend this knee and reach around and hang on to the foot. If that is possible, vaguely possible for me, ouch, then you can put it down. I don't know why it's so sore today, but anyway, you can do it more than, you can do it probably much better than that. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Ah, there. All right. So here we have a vague resemblance to a king pigeon here. Okay. Both arms should be back at a certain point, and perhaps I will one day. Now I'm going to just, once again, make sure that my leg is extended out towards the back, and I'm going to lower myself down. And this is a lovely stretch that helps with people who have issues around their sacrum. And it allows you to stretch out some of your lower back and the muscles, that the ligaments that tie in from the hip to the lower back. It gives it some opening. You can lay your head down on your hands if you like. We're just going to rest here for a few moments and really feel that gravity is helping us do some of this work, that we don't have to do it all on our own, that we have lots of company to aid us on our way. And we're going to sit up again. Now, I'm just going to roll over onto that left buttock rather, and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to just turn around so I'm facing you, and I'm going to take this foot around, so that we're sitting now in a twist. Now, you can leave this leg out straight if you like, or you can bend it to the buttock. And we're just going to extend our arms up. In my case, it's my left arm. And I'm going to use the elbow to give me a little bit of leverage to twist away from the knee towards the back of the room. And this twist is really, it comes first of all from an extension up, that we're moving up, and then we're moving really from our whole spine, beginning at the bottom of the spine. And we're just going to rest here for a moment. I can feel everything crunching in a very good way, saying good morning to me. All right, and we're going to do the other leg. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Oops, I just did what we did. The left leg over the right, and then crook the knee, and the right foot is near your left buttock. Then we're going to extend our arms up. Let's just extend both our arms up for a minute and really feel our shoulders go right up to our ears, and then feel our shoulders come down and our shoulder blades go down our back. Okay, good. So we're really stretching up, and we're going to draw one hand, the left hand towards the back to give us out to the floor. And then we're just going to turn the right arm around and catch our elbow near our lower thigh, near the knee, and just use that to give us a lovely stretch around. So here I feel like a coiled up spring, and it reminds me of all the potential I have to be engaged every day because I have all of this energy inside me, coiled into a beautiful spring. All right. Then we're going to come around and we are going to lay down and do a couple of bridges just to get our and you'll need a block here. We're going to just work with on the bridge on our back. Once again, to open our chest up. This also locks our throat bandha, which is a kind of an airlock here. And when we're doing the bridge, and it'll allow us to our breath to be kind of captured for a moment. It's an interesting concept to think about the bandhas and various ways you can lock air into different parts of your body. So this throat bandha is exercised during our bridge. So we're just putting our feet on the floor, lifting our hips, we're just tilting our pelvis up, and then we're going to drop it down to the floor. We're just tilting our pelvis up, and we're dropping it down to the floor. Tilting it up, and we're dropping it down to the floor. And now we're going to, once again, we're going to feel our feet dynamically rooted to the ground. Our hands, we can hold on to the side of the mat, or we can just put them flat on the ground, or we can come into a clasp underneath our buttocks so our shoulders can roll under. So it's up to you. We're going to work on this just sequentially. Okay, so we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And once again, we feel the energy going out our thighs towards the far wall when we're doing this. And we can clasp our hands underneath our shoulders and feel the feet going into the mat. And it really helps us extend our body up. And our knees are going towards the far wall. We can feel energy coming from our head, or we don't move our neck in this posture, but you can feel that my words or my voice is constricted here. So we're really working on the throat chakra. We're thinking about how we can use the throat chakra to intensify our pranayama, our breathing. We can breathe deeply into this posture, into the front body, into the side body, into the back body, and then we can exhale. We'll have another breath into the front body, into the side body, and into the back body, and then we're going to exhale. Then we're going to just come down here for a moment, and we're going to just bring our knees in to give our backs a little bit of a rest, and we'll do it one more time, and we'll do a little bit of a variation here. Okay, now, once again, we're going to put our feet flat on the floor. We're going to feel our shoulders going down our back body. So our shoulders are relaxed on the ground. And once again, we're going to plant our feet and tilt our vertebrae by vertebrae body, back body, and feel the energy moving from the from the thighs to the knees and to the front, to the wall that's in front of us. And now we can hold on to a block. And now you can do one of two things. You can lift your body up here and you can put it at the highest level. Now, I'm really not very good at that, so I'm just going to put it at the second level here. And so that the sacrum is resting on it. Now, you can put it at the highest level. That will give you a very deep back bend. And sometimes I do that, but apparently not when I'm teaching. So, and I'm just going to walk my feet slowly out with my back, my sacrum balanced on that block, and to where it feels comfortable. You don't want to do this if it's feeling uncomfortable. And all the time, you are really feeling the pelvis and the front body open. You're not feeling any pressure at all in your lower back. If you have pressure, then you should come down. I'm just extending my feet out here. And I'm going to just extend my arms above my head here. If that's too much, just bring them back down. You can clasp them around the block or underneath your body and roll your shoulders in. That will help you really give the upper body a beautiful, beautiful curve there. And once again, you want to make sure that you can keep your legs, your feet wide apart, or you can bring them together. And we're just going to rest here for a few moments, just breathing. Imagining that great lion's breath that we did at the very beginning. We can maybe even stick our tongues out and exhale, really give it a really good exhalation. So we're inhaling, and then we're exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. And then we're just breathing regularly and resting here. Okay, now we're going to walk our feet back in here, and we can take away the block. You can come down if you're ready to come down, or you can do a couple of little leg variations. If you come down vertebrae by vertebrae very slowly, or you can lift up your right leg, stretch your heel to the ceiling, and then bend your leg. Your left leg, reach it up to the ceiling, your heel to the ceiling. Really feel the energy in your foot going down and your foot going up. And then we're going to put it down. And we're going to go down vertebrae by vertebrae until we're on the ground and stretching out. All right. Now, let's do a few more postures here and see if we can just work on our back body from this sort of passive position. So we can just bring our knees up and then drop them to one side and feel that beautiful twist in our body. And we can look in the opposite direction. Our arms are up. And then lift our legs up and drop them to the other side. All the time we're inhaling and exhaling in as calm and measured a way as we can muster. And then we're coming back to our back. We can, if you can do this, you can straighten one leg and roll it over. Crook it over the other one. You can scoot your buttocks to the other side and give yourself a really nice twist with this one. This is kind of one of the deeper ones, and it's lovely. And you can use your arm as the hands of a clock to, once again, allow your shoulders to really open. And you can stop at any point in which it's problematic. Okay, we're going to just scoot back onto our back again, extend our right leg up, hook it over our left, and then scoot our buttocks towards the left. Sorry, it should be the left leg over the right, and then scoot our buttocks to the left, and our knees drop to the right. And once again, we're feeling the hands of time in our shoulders, and we feel the rejuvenation of finding our voice again and feeling empowered to get on with our day, wherever it leads us. And we're going to sweep back onto our box now. Okay, now let's just give our box a little shake here, a little good vibration. And we're going to roll up. Now you can roll up on the side. In my case, I'm just going to roll up this way, but you can roll up from the side. And I'm going to get my strap here and do some leg stretches. Because if we're going to work on our hips and our back body, we need to make sure that our legs are beautifully extended and stretched out. So I've got my feet facing you. The knees should be upright, facing up, and the toes are facing up, the heels are extended. And our back body, we just feel the energy shooting out the top of our head, like a beautiful tree, just like a beautiful tree. Let's do this for a minute. Let's just imagine all of the energy that is shooting out our arms like a beautiful tree in spring. Okay, now we're going to take a belt or your hands around depending on what's convenient for you. Now, I'm trying to keep my back straight, so I'm trying to pretend so I can use a belt here and go forward with my back straight. Or I can hang onto my feet and hope that my back's straight, or the outer edges of my feet. So whatever, the point of this is really to feel the energy moving up and out. And it's not about hunching down and going forward. It's about really feeling the extension and the energy moving out your heels, so your legs are very strong here. You can pull the extra flesh of your buttocks out if you want, and feel your sit bones going into the ground. Okay, good. Now we're just going to bring one leg, in my case it's the left leg, into this is a kind of tree pose, but on the floor. And I'm going to, once again, I can use a belt here just with one leg. If this is uncomfortable, you don't have to do this. And I'm going to hold on to this foot. I feel my spine is turning a little bit towards that foot because it is a little off center. And then I can feel myself moving down and stretching out. Once again, the energy in my body is moving along my spine and out the tip top of my head. Very good. And we're going to come up, and then we're going to do the opposite foot. And once again, we're going to turn a little bit towards, in my case, towards the left. And you can hold on with one hand. You can hold on with your strap with two hands. You can hold on the outer edge of your foot and feel that. And once again, you can pull the flesh of the buttocks out and feel that twist as well as the movement towards your leg. And it's really a lovely extension. And because you're pushing, you're feeling the energy, you're pushing out the heel, and you're feeling the energy moving down your hamstrings. You're not overextending your tendons and at the where they join at the on the pelvis and the hip. So you're going to not injure yourself if you feel that energy going down there. But you want to really be clear about what level of pain is acceptable. You don't want to be in terrible pain at all ever doing yoga, because it's a gradual process. It's not about getting anywhere. It's about being somewhere at this very moment in time. And you can feel yourself, because we're holding this quite a few minutes, you can feel yourself really, your muscles just extending. Gravity is helping you. It's your sister, your sister gravity, really just allowing you to sink into the ground a little bit, while always extending out through the head, energy out through the head and the foot. Okay, now we're going to come up. Good. And we'll just do, we'll do a little extension here. Just extend your feet, your legs out, whatever is comfortable. And we'll just walk our hands forward a little. And here we're pulling up the flesh of the buttocks. We're feeling our sit bones on the ground. We're feeling our back spine that is straight. Our belly is being pulled into the spine. Our core is active here. And we're just stretching our arms out here. We might not go too far, because we're supposed to be, the object of this is not to go down so much as to really feel your spine straightening. But you do find that you can sink down a little bit if you stay in this position. You can hold on to your feet if that's possible. If that's not possible, you could just hold on to your shins and just rest here. And sometimes people find this painful in their groin or whatever, so you don't want to overextend. You have to be vigilant about that. Okay, and now you can move to one side, in this case my right side, and I'm holding on to the outside of my foot, and I have my other hand behind my hip, and I am stretching my spine straight. And we're going to do it the other side. Stretching. There we go. All right. Now, I'm just going to ask you to come back into a posture on the floor. Now, if you want to, if you have cushions or anything, you can put something underneath your thighs here, and you can put something on over you, a blanket if you're chilly. And we're just going to lower down into Shavasana. And at this point, I think we'll have done a lot of work on lots of parts of our body. Maybe our feet. We could roll our ankles, our feet around, and hear our ankles crack. We could roll our feet around and hear our ankles crack going the other way, pointing our toe. We can point our toe, and then we can extend our heel out. Point our toe and extend our heel out. Point our toe and extend our heel out. Point our toe, extend our heel out. Now we're just going to stretch our heels out and drop them down. Drop our legs down our feet down to the floor. We're going to make a fist with our hands, and we're going to stretch our arms out, and then we're going to drop them down. We're going to extend our chest up, and then we're going to drop it down. We're extending our hips up. We're going to drop them down. And we're going to roll our head from side to side. And just feel pleasures of deep relaxation coming over us. Our whole body, with our back body on the ground, is rooted into the ground. We can feel our body really extending into the ground.
through our back, through our head, back of our head, through our feet, through our arms and our hands, our fingers. And I'm not going to speak for a few moments, and I'm just going to let you relax into this beautiful Shavasana. And I'm going to invite you to stretch your arms and your legs, extending out your fingers and your feet. And I'm just going to read you a poem that has to do with voice. And it's one of my favorites, actually. It's by Mary Oliver. It's published in 1963. The Journey. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. So thank you for sharing this time with me as we explore the throat chakra, Vishuddha.
I love that poem. That's a wonderful poem. Speaks to me on so many levels.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Get your claws off me.
Thank you, Janice.
Yeah.
I've got a dash.